This has got to be the coolest little console or game, and game actually, I've ever played in a long time. If you guys like the SNES and the NES Classic, man, you guys need a Wii U with Mario Maker. This is incredible. Just made a course. You got no pounds 978. Come follow me on Wii U.
How are you doing as I check our connection? A couple messages for the viewers, so pick a section, have a seat. Yeah, I know this is different, quit with the questions. Allow me a second, please, to make my first impression.
YouTube, welcome back to another Pounds 978 Customs video, and right now, I'd like to show you Spider Lizard. A few of you have seen the work in progress on Spider Lizard. I made a tutorial on how to make web lines a week ago, and if you haven't seen it, you can click this card. With those of you who have seen it, knew this was coming, so here he is. And to be honest, I'm not too familiar with Spider Lizard. I heard somewhere he was from Gwen Stacy's universe when she became Spider-Woman and Peter Parker turned into the Lizard, but I found a bio that said something different. Let me pull it up. A very old comic, you can see it's at 40 cents, but this is the Spectacular Spider-Man. Not sure what issue. During a fight with the Lizard and another giant lizard enemy known as Iguana, Peter Parker builds a device he hopes will allow him to defeat both at once. While also saving Curt Connors, the man who turns into the Lizard, the device leeches energy from the Lizard, reverting him back into Curt Connors, and redirects it into Iguana, which overloads him and causes him to explode. Not a nice way to go. Several issues later, Curt Connors seeks out Spider-Man, worried that the device could have easily leaked out some of the energy into Spidey while he used it in the fight. It turns out to be true, and later losing control in a fight against a new villain, Spider-Man beats him with an inch of his life. Right before Kurt pulls him off the man, Spider-Man flees to the top of a building, and there he mutates into a lizard and proclaims himself as the Spider Lizard. Feel free to read the rest of that if you like, but this is new to me. I had no idea this even existed, so what's old for some is new for others. Couple more reference shots I found online, and I thought I had one with a partial mask ripped up, but I can't find that picture in my phone anywhere. So here's one that's a card, pretty cool, looks like the figure actually. So yes, I did want to sculpt a mask on his face just to resemble that one reference shot, but then looking further into it, the actual Spider Lizard doesn't have any mask on his face. It's just a plain lizard face and some ripped up spider clothes. Unfortunately, I only have one lizard head, but if I had another, I'd probably do the sculpt. Why do I have the lizard in the first place? I don't know, I got rid of the Build-A-Figure when I first got that wave, but I was able to build another one from some extra figures I had lying around, and I thought to myself, why not? I almost sold the Build-A-Figure again. I'm not too impressed with the way this figure articulates. It's very hard to pose. I mean, I got him in a fair stance right now. He looks pretty cool, like he's walking towards you or something, but he is really hard to pose, and he's a little flimsy. But I think he looks amazing. Looks really good, and will look pretty good on your Spider shelf. I think Hasbro should probably reissue this as a single carded figure in the future. Doubt it. Would be a good idea, though. Like they did with Thanos and Ultron. Would you guys buy this as a single carded figure if it was a Spider Lizard? I know I would. Problems with the articulation and all, I still would. And I can show you what I mean. I mean, he's standing pretty good right now, but the minute I move him and just articulate his toe a little bit, he'll fall right over because he's top heavy. Those knees don't bend. And you'll be here for a little while just trying to get him in some type of pose. Unless you want him in a vanilla pose with the tail holding him up, you can do that. You see I have the tail up because I want him to be able to at least hold himself up, carry his own weight. And this figure does not carry its own weight unless you balance it correctly. And I don't even want to say correctly if you balance it well enough, because there is no correct way to balance this figure. It is pretty difficult. No matter what you do, you will have an issue with it.
My friend, no worry, I do for you like this, okay? Okay. You take his hand un poquito, his head like this, okay? Déjate un poquito así. Y párate aquí. Y las piernas tiene que... Okay, my friend. I almost got it. Okay, okay. A little bit more right here. Keep your legs straight, my friend. Come on, take a nice picture. Okay, right there, Pounds, I got it. Ay, Dios mío. Te figura. Okay, I think I got it now. Check it out.
And that clip was sped up. Took me a while to stand this figure up in this position, so... It's not the funnest figure to pose around, but it does move so freely that it makes you believe that you want to pose this figure around. The torso moves up and down really nice. Everything moves nice except those knees. Thought I would add a Gwen Stacy with the lizard, even though this is not accurate now that I think about it. Again, I didn't know too much about it. I thought he was part of her universe, but in her universe, I think Peter becomes the lizard and not Spider Lizard. It wouldn't make any sense. But, oh well, I'll still use it in the video. It's really hard to see. She's so white. The background is really white. It's not doing any justice. Maybe if I slipped in this green screen or the green sheet, you'd be able to see her a little bit. Not too much better, actually. It looks terrible. Looks worse. But you can see her. Real quick, though. He is sturdy enough to hold a female figure in one hand up in the air. He's not going to stand on his own because the balance is going to be real tricky. But if you have his tail down on the ground as like a tripod, it'll work. Whoa, such a difficult figure to prepare. I'm not going to lie, but everything is working. Didn't have to do much to the head. These shoulder joints were really difficult to sand without any rub. So I had to go really deep, but everything's working now. See, there's a Build-A-Figure. You can pop these arms and legs off pretty easy. Still white at the peg because I didn't want to paint inside there, but I did paint the red so that way when you taking certain pictures you can see, and it's hard to tell now. Ab crunch works really good. That's what I mean. It tricks you into thinking you can move this figure around a lot, but you really can't. The tail, I'm not too impressed with the tail. It's a little square. People complain. I mean, I'm not mad at it. It works, so. But the figure articulates the way it's supposed to. Nothing too fancy. Useless double jointed knees. No need for those. Toe articulation is a little loose, and that's why he's a little flimsy. The tail's on a peg, so it just pops right in. No big deal. I did not plan to make a Spider Lizard. I thought it would be easy, but then in the process of making him, he turned out to be a little annoying. Painting in those ripped clothes was kind of rough, and I kind of messed up on his green paint, so I had to paint match that, and that was even more difficult to match that exact green. I don't know if you can tell. I doubt it, but if you can, let me know. If you want to see him compared to Spider-Man, there he is. House of M. Can't find my vintage. Thought the vintage would look a lot better with this, but I don't want to dig through the mess. But if you don't like House of M, we got Pizza Spider-Man. A little too glossy to be compared with Lizard, but nonetheless, it's Spider-Man. Like I said in a previous video, I prefer to matte my figures down than to gloss them out, only for picture purposes. Overall, I'm pleased with the figure. I think the webbing came out pretty clean. Again, you guys should click that card and watch the tutorial on how to make webs if you're interested in that kind of stuff. And as always, guys, I appreciate the love. If you like this video and you want to see more Spider-Man customs and reviews, feel free to give me a thumbs up. Comment down below your thoughts on this Spider-Man custom, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.
Well, hello, how are you doing as I check our connection? A couple messages for the viewers, so pick a section, have a seat. Yeah, I know this is different, quit with the questions. Allow me a second, please, to make my first impression. They call me Pounds, here I'm known as 978 Customs create, plus I rhyme great. Well, my son and I shopped off and it was tempting. Almost let Spider-Man pass, but I had to get him. I picked a few more up, started collecting, feeling grand as I stand back and marvel at the legends. But quick inspections, I could notice imperfections. Every figure disfigured, so I figured I'd correct them. All of a sudden I learned how to customize. Once I tried, after that I was on a up and ride. But come inside, it's cool, just know the rules. Number one, don't try it if you ain't got all the tools. Number two, take your time, you ain't got nothing to prove. Number three, well, forget